Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Two Bellinis and an Omelet, a new show about life, friendship, caretaking, death, resources, and surviving it all without losing your shit. I am
Perfect.
one of your co-hosts. My name is Bridget. I am a 57-year-old gal who lives in Northern California, and
Susan.
I'm going to turn it over to my best friend and co-hostess,
Oh, I'm Susan, live in Colorado, 56,
Youngin.
soon to be 57. Um, and yes, I'm excited for this.
Right on. So am I. Thank you. By the way, this entire program would never have happened had Sue not kept planting the seed and the idea that we, have something really rich between us, not just our friendship, but our experiences. And we felt it might be valuable to share all that with people because we believe that the things we're going to talk about and we've experienced are common to all of us, and discussing it openly and with a little bit of humor might help all of us get through this crazy thing called life. Does that sound about right?
Yes. So, in other words, had I not lost my shit, we wouldn't be here.
No, that's true. And you did it so
Yeah.
gracefully, as we will find
Mm,
out in future episodes.
yeah.
So, Sue, how did we meet? Let's start there. We have been friends for, what did we determine?
1982.
Yeah, so it's like
Okay.
43 years, something like that.
Something like
38
that.
years, something like that. It's a
I
long
was thinking
time.
about that. So, do you remember when we met?
I think I do, but why don't you tell me when you
I
think?
know. Okay. They're a little confused. So maybe I'm off or you can correct me. I remember walking on campus. So we both went to Cherry Creek High School. That's how
Mhm.
we met. I remember walking towards like the language art building up there. And I remember us meeting outside, but I could not remember if it was from knowing each other in English class. Remember with Jen Adams? Sorry, can I
Yeah,
say last names? Jen,
no last
or
name.
if that was our first, sorry, oopsies, or if that was our first interaction was the walking outside. I don't I know, I feel like I should remember that. Am I
Well,
off?
when we're in our 50s, we're not, I don't even remember where my keys are right now, and I need them in an hour. So the fact that you have that much clarity 30
Well,
decades ago, I really, well done. High five to you.
high five. Okay, because I remember I thought it was either before school had started or school had just started. I remember being outside saying hello, but I thought it was because we were in class together.
Hmm.
So what do you remember?
Nothing like that. I
Oh,
remember
shit.
the way I remember it, and who knows? I remember that our mutual friend Sue, I thought introduced us, and I thought you were in our backyard, my home, my childhood home. And our mutual friend Sue was also this really wonderful big personality. But I remember I just thought you were so cool. You had this amazing big blonde hairdo. And in the
I
80s,
did. It
that
was
was
very
current,
Farrah.
right? You were so fair.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, somebody with cool hair thinks they want to be my friend. Holy shit. This
No,
like money in the bank. I had no idea that your friendship would be the one of the best things that ever happened to me. So,
first of all, you are the coolest. I do remember going into your room. I do. This is a vivid like memory in there of you having the Christy Brinkley book
oh
and
yeah,
showing me how to twirl my hair and put the little bobby pins on it to create the waves.
yeah. These are
Yeah,
these are
these are
important things in the middle of
these
America
are
where
core
you grow
memories.
up.
But again, I do remember us walking on campus, and
Yeah.
I remember Sue being involved. But that was so in my mind that was later.
Mhm.
I remember so maybe we interacted before that, and then it reconnected later with Sue. But I remember us having English class together because
Absolutely.
Jen was in there,
Right.
who we both loved.
Yes, still do.
Yeah. So it all maybe it just blurs a little bit, but that was part of what I remember. So yeah,
It does. So it's a
we're
friendship
drawn together.
like many others, people who hopefully will be watching the show. Hopefully you have someone like Sue and a
And
friendship
language.
like we have, where
Yeah.
for the last 30 and 40 years, and it's a bond that's inseparable, and it's a bond that only gets stronger with the experiences that we'll be talking
Yes.
about in this show. And it's, I mean, we've been through a lot together. First of all, when you are in high school and you're young, it's just about yourselves and your hair and your boyfriends.
The
And we went through
clothes.
all that together, right? High
Oh,
school, I
yeah.
hated that high school. I could not stand high school. Even though I had a big fat mouth and a big personality, that was my way to say I hated it. And you always made it just seem
Oh,
so easy and so cool. And it's like, as long as I was in the sidecar next to you, I was going to be okay because everybody loved you. I mean,
see,
you
I
would
feel the
be,
same way about you. I feel like you're the reason I loved high school.
well,
Because again, I thought you were so cool,
I'm
which
glad we made it acceptable for each
I
other.
know. I'm going to break out that photo of us next time of us on a little workout matching outfits.
Oh, 1980s workouts. Another thing about friendship
Satiny
that'll carry,
spandex. Oh, we looked good.
let that sink in, group, because that's really, let that sink in.
And our hair looked good because we wanted to meet boys at the gym.
Oh, good God. I don't even know what to do with that. But those are the eras, right? Like
Yeah.
kids today wear spandex and workout outfits because it's like a classic Halloween costume. And I'm like, I
Mm,
actually dress like that by
yeah. Let's
choice.
dress like the 80s. I'm like, that was
Oh,
me in the
yeah, I live the 80s
80s. Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that is, when you meet and you know your people, it's amazing. And we not only went to high school, we went to college together,
Yep.
and we've seen each other through marriages, divorces, births, deaths,
Earth. Yes.
and it is something, this friendship, our friendship, what it has been and what it's always going to be, is the reason that we're here and we're sharing these stories. It is a deep mutual bond. And I'm sure men
Yes.
have a version of it as well, very equally as deep as important. But I think as women, um, our experiences are different and they
Yes.
have their own richness. And I think there's a candor between women who, when we get into our 50s and we raise children and take care of our parents, which is kind of a focus of this show, wouldn't you
Yes.
say?
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
know, these stories are very funny. They're very
Yeah.
sad, but they're also very funny. And I think, I mean, you have a great sense of humor, and I'm looking forward to, unpacking all of that for people who want to listen and learn and
As do
get
you.
to know us and get to know that
Shenanigans
they're going to,
queen.
yeah. So, Sue, in your opinion, why did you want to do this show?
Um, well, again, we've always leaned on each other. I mean, our connection was instant. Um, and again, I just have to say, our relationship has been amazing. I'll try not to cry, but we've had literally maybe three, I wouldn't even call them arguments, more like disagreements
Totally.
since 1982, which is shocking.
Yeah,
So I think
100%.
everything, we have a great deal of respect for each other. You're right. Our humor gets us through a lot. Our shenanigans should have landed us in jail a few times, which it did not. Thank God.
It's a movie.
It is, but I think we really lean on each other in a way that I know that we're blessed to have because a lot of people may not have that or feel that they can do that. Um, so I think the reason we talked initially about doing this was because I think we did lean on each other so much. And I was going through so much at the time when I was doing it. And I know that you were not going through it, but I think we kind of grew together during that time. I think you were able to help me see things in a way that I could not see during the time and probably help me own my emotions and kind of navigate it. And again, I just kind of thought at this age we're at, where we're now becoming the caregivers or the parents to our parents, that we can't be the only ones going through this. And we can't be the only one who's feel lost or who are trying to do it all with a bit of grace and a little bit of humor and possibly a cocktail. We can't be the only people doing this. And so I thought it'd be a great chance to talk, but also maybe heal in the process. So,
Well
yeah,
done. God,
yeah.
what she said. It's,
I sure
it
can.
is,
Yeah.
it,
So,
it was, first of all, I think it takes a tremendous amount of courage for you to, your first impetus having, and the reality is you took care of your mother for over 17 years and she had vascular dementia.
mhm.
Not just, I mean, dementia alone is such a challenging and
Yeah.
difficult thing, but for such a long period of time. And for you to come through that and your first inclination is to be, let's talk about it. Let's let other people know what I've learned and how we can help them, right? I think that takes a lot of courage, and I've always loved you for that.
Thank you.
It's true. And I agree with you. And I wasn't, my family, my parents, my siblings were all very healthy when your mom was going through
Mhm,
her dementia and towards the end of her life.
mhm.
And I mean, I'm I practice a religion, so I happen to believe that God architects my life a certain way. I know
Yes.
people don't believe in that, and that's totally cool. But I do believe that when your mother passed away, you were in a rich position of wisdom because then my life fell apart in a lot of ways. I lost three siblings
Yeah.
and my mother and another very close friend
Yes.
in a short period of time. And you were really my wise owl during all of that. And so, as for the show, we really have an ardent desire to talk about sickness, death, love, grief, navigating it, and then some actual resources, right, in your communities, in our communities to help alleviate the burden of caretaking, which
Yes.
all of us are. I mean, if I've said it before, if you love someone, you are going to be called into their service. And
Mhm.
I would both, Sue and I think would both highly encourage you to take up that mantle. It is
Yeah.
hard and it is terrifying.
Pick up the phone. Yeah. Take the
Pick up
call.
the phone, girl. It
Yeah.
is, it's, it is a really rich experience. And so, I mean, from my perspective, that's why we're doing the show. We have
Yeah.
both experienced a lot of loss. We have experienced a tremendous amount of love and support for each other
Yes.
and from and in our families and community
Yes.
groups. And we we made it. You're going to make it. That's my
Yeah.
message is no
Yeah.
matter what you're facing right now, it will pass. You will be okay. And
Yeah.
we hope to impart some humor and some resources and maybe a
Yeah.
place for you to just, I don't know, crack open a beer for a couple of 25, 30 minutes every now and then and just listen and let us have your questions and we'll see
Yeah.
where we go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I think part of it too, between the two of us, which I thought the title was great, like our little two Bellinis, is I think that we both had some differences in our lives when we were going through them, and difference in our dynamics a little bit. Oops, sorry. Um, and mine kind of started to more when Scott got hurt as well. So I feel like there was a lot of caregiving that I took over for my parents when my mom got sick.
So
So,
who is Scott? Tell
oh,
people.
sorry. Sorry about that. So my younger brother, was paralyzed when he was 17 in high school, was on a river rafting trip and got paralyzed. And my mom and dad basically took over, obviously, the care of my brother, but he's a quadriplegic. And I dove into that as well at the time to help out.
Why don't you
And
tell people what you did in order to delve in? You gave up a lot, and I want people to
I
know that.
did, but I also knew that it was something that my mom needed help with. It was a lot for her to care for everything and still be a mom. So I guess I get the whole full circle side of it. But I lost my swimming scholarship. I left school. And I helped care for my brother when he was in the hospital down in Grand Junction. And then when they flew him back to Denver, I kind of moved back home and helped out with his care, basically to help my mom. And then, when things were settled, I moved back out, went back to work,
Right.
um, and went back to night school, but never finished my degree.
Mhm.
So, yeah, and I think that took a huge toll on my mom, which I think was part of her depression issues, which later was dementia issues. Was my mom? I think she took on the care back then and didn't know how to help herself. So for me, going through this, it makes me emotional. Um, I try really hard. Sorry,
Okay, please.
jeez, that came on. Like, sorry, that just like totally came on. Which is why I think I reached out so much to you, was to try and figure out how to break the cycle, to figure out how to care for myself in the process without losing myself like my mom did.
Right. Absolutely. And
Jeez,
that
I
is
don't know why that just came on.
no, that's so
That's
good. That's
crazy.
the reason we're doing this. That
I
type
know.
of candor is
Yeah,
important because there's
yeah,
tens of thousands of people all over the place who might
yeah,
be watching who
yeah,
want to let go a little
yeah,
bit And I mean, this is
Yeah,
protracted. You didn't only just
yeah,
take care of your mother for 17 years.
yeah,
20 years before that, you were also taking care of your brother. So
yeah,
long-term care is a reality for a lot of people,
right.
and you can lose yourself.
For
And
sure. Like I was not taking, which it took years for you to probably get into my head enough that I was not taking care of myself. And I think when I became a mom to
mm,
my two beautiful, groovy, fantastic kiddos that I love,
fabulous.
and I have a great husband that was very supportive, that I really realized I was not taking care of myself. And I know that you had really been talking to me years about that, but which is why we wanted to do this, was because there's so many people out there who just get lost in the process, whether you're a mom, a daughter, whatever you are. We just get lost in the process. And I definitely got lost in the process of trying to be super mom, super wife, super friend, super daughter. And I didn't know how to navigate it. And I didn't want to lose my own health in the process.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah. And you were always by my side, girl.
Well, it's an honor, and
So God
I
bless
learned a
you.
lot watching you, you know.
So
So so that type of honesty right there is the
yeah.
reason we're doing this show.
Yeah.
Is we are all going to be called into that kind of service, and it's not easy to do. Not wanting to do it is a perfectly natural reaction, and so don't
Yeah.
there's no shame or blame or guilt in this
Yeah.
program. It is about realizing where you're at, that that is going to happen, whether you take care of a child, a brother, a sister, a mother, a friend,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
all of them during the course of your
Yeah.
life. It's going to be hard, but as the modicum goes, we are built to do hard things. And
Yes.
it's sometimes all those hard things happen at once. And this show is going to help talk about the emotional impact of it, the financial impact of it, and
Yeah.
provide resources and some humor along the way
I
to,
hope.
yeah, absolutely. That's like that's a must.
That's a given with us, just so people know.
Exactly. And it's I think it's just really important for us to start the conversation. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you were honest today. Thank you for that.
Ooh, yeah, like that came out of, I mean, geez, you know me, I'm a little tough sometimes.
You
Um,
definitely,
yeah,
you've got some
I've softened.
stoicism about you for sure,
A little
but
more my dad and me there. But
yeah, and you
yeah,
thank goodness your father is
yeah.
amazing.
Well, and
Um,
then you as well. I mean, so talk about, again, the same thing, kind of like why you wanted to do this.
Well, I mean, the things that I've been challenged with are very recent. They're all within the last 7 or 8 years. I've lost three siblings, my mom and one of my closest friends,
Okay.
and I've been a part of their caretaking, their deaths, and getting through it after that. Um, my brother Philip, my sister Julie, and my mother all died within 16 months of each other between 2021 and 2023. And it's just a massive amount of loss. And
Yes.
you're going to find in your life the people that you love who pass away and you are called to witness and help out. Um, they all deaths are different, all sicknesses are different. And it, we have a tendency to kind of be on call.
Yeah.
So uh, I think it's very human to want to preserve your sanity.
Mhm.
And during those times, I mean, I didn't eat well. I drank too much alcohol. I
You
didn't
were flying back and forth all the time too. I
Yeah,
mean, so
I
you're going
was
back from
flying between my
California to
home in
Colorado. Yeah.
California and Colorado. And
Yeah.
like Sue, I have a husband who's amazing and kept my
Amazing.
entire life back in California a place of sanctuary and peace. And
Mhm.
he was completely supportive. So you and I are both extremely fortunate that way. A lot of people don't have that kind of backup.
Yes.
But I am truly grateful for it. But really, I mean, the thing is, sickness and death are going to happen to all of us,
Yeah.
not just ourselves, but to the people we love. And so I think it's a great opportunity to share experiences, resources, and also just to me, humor is absolutely important. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you were with me and my family many times at the hospital
Yes.
when death was happening, and we're farting, and I didn't wear a bra one day, and you had to bring me down a sweater, and it's you,
Your mom was
your
mortified.
mom was mortified. And so we're sitting, my mother and I are sitting with my brother who's dying as we
It has a Scooby, his big stuffy.
his big stuff Scooby Bear. And
Yeah,
Sue walks in with this beautiful smile, and it's there's just so many rays of light in the middle of darkness. And
yeah,
I want to impart that. That's the reason I'm doing it, that in those darkest hours, when you're in a hospital or a hospice center or with your loved one, and that silence just sounds like it's never going to go
yeah,
away, you can do it.
yeah. I will say your mom, I remember, and I've told you this. I looked at your mom and found so much strength. I mean, and your mom and my mom both had a lot of strength in them. Sometimes very different how they went about it. But I walked in and your mom is knitting and she's got her pearls on and her lipstick and her sweater. And I thought, I know if I have freaking deodorant on.
I don't even know
I
if I'm wearing
I'm in
underpants at that
sweatpants.
point.
I know I'm like, look at myself going, like doing like a check. Like, is everything, am I put together? Because with the grace your mom had, and I come walking in with a hot mess. I've got coffee, I've got sweater. You know me, I come flying in. And she's just sitting there like, hello, Miss, like to little Susie. And I thought, God, if I could have half of the grace your mom has in my pinky, I can get through everything she's getting through. And it was such an inspirational moment to me because, my mom was so sick and I just missed my mom so much. And your mom was just full of grace and had just wanted to know about me and the kids. Like, just like life goes on, right?
Yeah.
And she was just in that corner so full of grace. And I thought, oh my God, how does she do it?
You know,
How does she do it? But,
thank you for sharing that. And
yeah.
my mom is everything to me. I miss
Yes.
her she died 2 years ago, and I
Hmm.
miss her every day. That being said, I am so grateful that she was my mother and I got to be her daughter, and I'm still her
I
daughter,
know.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes. We're both blessed. Yeah.
yeah, and so I look forward to telling the stories of our mothers because they
Yeah.
really are a large part of the foundation that we stand on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so how about future shows? What are some of the topics you would like to cover that we can really, because it's going to be two Bellinis is going to be something you need to tune into, people. It's going to be
People.
smoking hot.
And I think we need to drink Bellinis while we're doing this because this
I'm
tea
fine with
stuff
it.
has got to go. I have to have a
Yeah,
Bellini.
yeah, no, I'm all for it. Day drinking is, I'm a fan.
Oh, um, ooh, good topic.
What would be a good top? What do you want to start with for our
Ooh,
next?
start with.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's hard. Um, I definitely, ooh, I don't know. You go first. That's hard. I got to think about that for a minute.
I really, so my
Yeah.
focus since all these things have taken place, I really want people to be less afraid of death. I want them to be less afraid of their
Yes.
own, and I want them to be less afraid of shepherding and walking with the people that they love as they die, because death is inevitable.
Okay.
And it's the one thing we know is going to happen. And we spend massive amounts of financial and emotional resources avoiding it. And so I've been really pleased to meet and work with people who are teaching me, and hopefully I can teach others. It doesn't have to be terrifying. It can be such
Right.
a
I
rich
love that.
reality, a rich reality that helps you value today when all of your shit works well and you can exercise your agency and choices, celebrate
Yes.
those days, right? That's what I want.
Yes. You're right. I love that because I think part of what I was leaning towards was being the fear of jumping into the caregiving side of it. And you're right. So being the fear of that kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, helping people kind of navigate their, like you said, helping out, but on their side too. So maybe it's the family, the job, the husband, the children, the work, whatever it is, but being able to navigate and still not be afraid of your life, still, you know, be present and lean in with your life, but be able to also, like I said, have the resources to help your loved ones, whether you're in state, out of state, that caregiving side, because it's all going to have to merge at some point and blend for you to make it work. And I think between the two of us, we have both sides of that, right? So I think we could help people navigate that maybe a little bit better. So
That was just brilliant. That's a wonderful place to leave off there. That's fabulous. So Folks, that's our first real episode of Two Bellinis and an Omelet. We are so glad you tuned in. We look forward to making you laugh and laughing with you. I personally will leave you with this message. Sue will have her own sign off. But no matter what you're going through, no matter how much it hurts, you are going to be okay.
I love that. You are going to be okay. And if you have a best friend, I know, shenanigans queen, person by your side, whether it's your husband, your kiddos, your best friend, you're right. You're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. It might be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but we're going to get through it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, my bestie. I love you. Thank you, whoever wanted to stick with us this long. You won't regret it. We got a lot of
You
good
will
shit.
not regret it.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you.